4-7. They lost in their first preseason game against the Las Vegas Raiders. Me and Marco are here. We're going to be breaking down this probably pretty putrid film and right now, going through every offensive play in the first three quarters and the early portion of the fourth when Sam Darnold was in. Make sure you guys tune in, stay subscribed, and we're back right after this.
Let's go get him. Let's go get him today, man. Let's go. Hey, dominate on 3. 1, 2, 3, dominate.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the program on this fine Monday evening. I'm your host, Rohan Chakravarthi. Here with me is Marco. Marco, how you doing, man?
How's it going, man? Shout out to everyone for tuning in. Make sure you guys like and subscribe to both channels. Man, I hate losing, even though it's preseason. I hate losing. Like, I don't enjoy it at all. Some of it was very ugly to watch. Some of it, but I came away. I haven't really watched all 22 yet. But during the game, I came away with some positives. So I'm really excited. Oh, I see my boy Ryan in the house. The Ryan G. Hensley show in the house. Make sure you guys are following him. Make sure you guys subscribe to his channel. Shout out to Ryan. I appreciate you, my man. But I came away with upset. Not upset, but upset that we lost. I hate losing, especially because you have Raider fans that are obnoxious. But I came away with some positives, but a lot of negatives.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fair. I'm just disappointed I had to watch such an ugly game, it puts something on Sunday. We come in on week 1 of preseason. We tune into this. But without further ado, let's let you guys see what I had to witness just this early afternoon. Let's go through the film. 49ers started with the football, and if you guys remember, the first drive was ugly. Before we start, play number 1, just focus on the interior of the offensive line. Remember, these are the backups. Jason Pose at left guard, John Feliciano at center, Nick Zakel at right guard, that is.
I do like them playing Feliciano at center. I do like that.
I agree. And this was something I think Chris Forster real quick alluded to in his press conference. He said that Feliciano, his best position center. They view him best as a center. And it's interesting because they also view him as higher than the others as a guard. He was the first-team guy when he was healthy and unquestioned first-team guy at left guard in place of Banks when Banks was injured. He's also their top center off the bench. He's their top interior offensive lineman everywhere, it seems.
And right away when you see this first play, I thought this was very interesting, right? Because everyone, right? So the funniest part about this, right after this play, you go to Twitter, right? Everyone's like, "Oh, that's on Trey. He needs to let it rip." Pause it at the top of his drop.
Right here.
Okay. A little bit back, like a second or two. But if you pay attention to, I believe this is Robertson, number 21 for the Raiders. He's already breaking on this football. He's already breaking. So I don't know what people want Trey to do. I understand he has a strong arm, but Robertson's got to cover about 5 yards, maybe. Trey has to throw that ball about roughly 25 to 30. How far do you think that is, Rohan? 25 yards roughly from hash to sideline?
Yeah, it's a pretty far
25.
If you're talking about, because this type of ball, when the corner's breaking here, you're going to want it to be on the back shoulder. You don't want this ball in front of the receiver because it allows the corner to break on it, but also for the receiver to get lit up. You want this ball here if you're going to throw this, but it's still nonetheless a tough throw, understanding that Robertson playing an off coverage against a curl is sitting on this route and is able to break rather than having to backpedal and then come back forward. He's sitting on this route and he's able to break on it should this ball be thrown.
And then if you keep it paused, okay, Trey sees him, he's getting ready to rip it. He's already going into his windup. Here, he's already going into the windup. He notices Robertson's breaking, which I like. Clean enough pocket at the moment, which is about maybe a second or so. Goes to a second read. Pause.
Right over the middle.
Which would be that tight end over the middle, which I believe is Dwelly.
Charlie Warner.
Or Charlie
this
Warner.
is Charlie Warner. Yeah.
Dwelly's on the top then. So Charlie Warner's covered. You mean he might be able to fit it in because this linebacker, this defensive line, whatever this is right here in front of him has his back to him, but that's a tight ass window to throw. Now you could say, okay, reset your feet, go to Bell.
That is what I was about to point out, because that's what he actually does. You'll see here, I think personally, you see this throw here, and Lance even pumps. He was about to let it rip, and then he pulled it back. I think Lance, personally, I would have liked him to reset a little earlier, get to the third, just continue with the progression. It's one line. You're essentially going to have to fit this throw in on the back of the right linebacker because he's not looking. You're going to have to fit this throw in on that side, and it's a risky throw. Would have liked for him to reset and immediately fire to Bell. You're going to see him pump fake here, and then obviously the sack comes before he can get to that third read. If he gets there a second earlier, you might be able to rip it, but still pressure comes fairly quickly. And I'm pretty sure Kyle Shanahan did say that he didn't believe the first two were on Trey.
See, this I agree, but I also disagree with Kyle in a way because now I haven't watched all 22. Initially, I thought this on the O-line. Now, I would like to see him to get from read 1 to 3 like that. And the reason why is if you go back all the way to when the play starts. All the way to when the play starts. Now, what I see right away, they're in a zone. Immediately, you see they're in a zone. As soon as they start to break based off of the linebackers.
And you're going to see that the slot corner here is essentially, he's going to cover Dwelly into the flat. What does that mean? The receiver out here, this is the guy who I think if you're hoping to look, pre-snap, because Robertson is already in off coverage against a curl or against a comeback route. That's a hard throw to make if you're not hitting the back shoulder, understanding he's got the ability to break. Warner here is going into the middle where these linebackers are. You would have liked to see, obviously, in a zone, who's the guy with the most open space? Because this isn't a throw where you're expecting a 5-step drop back quick. This is the quick game. You're trying to get that ball out quick. That would have been the quickest read. Regardless, though, if you look at it, 1, 2, Lance gets sacked right there at 3. Bell would have been the intended target. You're going to see here, as he flips here, if he just gets off this read rather than try and throw the pump fake, I think he gets to hit Bell because, it's the indecisiveness a little bit here that I think costs them the half second that ends up making the throw. But you're going to see number here in the read later on. Thanks to Cal, just flat out gets bull rushed, and you'll see a better, clearer window the second way around here.
And I think this too, you do see Trey pump to the Conley. You see him pump to Warner. Not necessarily pump to Conley, but he comes to separates a little bit, and then he goes to Warner. So it's one of those ones where you could blame it on Trey. I'm surprised Kyle chalked this up as the O-line.
I am too.
What also shocked me too was Jalen Moore's response when asked, "Do you feel bad?
My Lord.
Do you feel bad for Trey Lance being under duress the entire time?" He was like, "No, I don't." I'm like, bro, you were arguably the worst offensive lineman on the field yesterday. You can't say that. I got to do a better job. Come on, man.
I agree. This one was interesting. I think that if Lance processes quicker, something that I thought, was a little evident early on, if Lance processes quicker, that's probably a completion. And this is the part where, you talk about the quick game. The quick game is one of the hardest things to master because when you talk about the quick game, right, it's not only about getting from read to read to read. It's about, having good pocket awareness, understanding that this play is meant for you to get the ball out quick. It's a 3-step drop back. You can't linger on one read and then go to the next because by the time you want to get to the read that's open, it's not going to be there. You're going to be sacked. But then play number 2 on this drive, Lance has his second drop back, I believe, of the game. Oh, my bad. This is the play.
But you do see him go from 1 to 2, get ready to go to 3, and that's when he starts getting hit. But again, the pump fake is there's no need to pump fake. There's no you already see the two linebackers. There's no need for that. Kyle charts it on as Trey. I on the O line. I see that's more of on Trey in this sense. Okay, they're in a zone.
Now this one's interesting. I mean, you go
Can't
back to
hit
it.
the easy ones.
That's gonna be what most people try and say. But I mean, here's Lance right at the top of his drop back. This
Dude,
is
let
the
that
this
rip
is
at the top of the route. Let
this
that
is
shit
the
rip.
this is the the high low, right? Here with this linebacker looking back, you're
Dude, let
hoping
it
Lance
rip.
can just let it rip, right? You're hoping he can let it rip. Again, this is a part of the indecisiveness. You can chalk it up to whatever. Lance not having as much rapport with these players. Lance, it's his first real game action. Whatever it is, you're hoping, some of these high to low throws that Lance got a little more comfortable with as the game continued on. You're hoping that this ball here, this is a ball that Kyle wants his quarterbacks to throw. And this is a ball, that
This is a
some
ball
quarterbacks
most
in
of his
his offense,
quarterbacks can't throw.
that's exactly what I was about to say. This is a ball that his quarterbacks in general have shown difficulties in throwing. Brock Purdy had some difficulties before. Jimmy Garoppolo had some difficulties before. This is a ball where Trey Lance can showcase the difference that he has in comparison to others with his arm talent. But you've got to let this ball rip.
But what he doesn't like too is if you look at the middle of the field, it's closed, right? That safety's coming down. He is eyeing that safety the entire time. So
that is true.
So
that
he is
very
that
true.
safety's already ball still in his hand. He's coming out of his break with ball should have already been out now, right? So it has to be 100%. You cannot miss inside, and if you do miss outside, it better not be a bad miss because it's getting picked.
And the other thing, you're looking at Lance coming in. He's clearly looking at his first read, but you would have liked him probably to eye off the safety so that you get a little more space in to make that throw. Because coming off here, this safety is looking at Lance's eyes, and so you're going to see him essentially, instead of waver off towards the middle of the field, stay on that hash mark. Lance is still looking at that throw. Now it's a lot more difficult because this guy can break. You've got to hit it on his right shoulder, not on the inside. You've got to hit it on his right shoulder for this ball to be complete. Tough throw. You're still hoping, though, you let this one rip.
And he has a whole lot of time right now. The pocket was nice, and I even thought, even then, too, with you have the safety in the middle of the field breaking that way because he's eyeing you, you could flip that shit to Conley. It depending on how confident you are in this offense. I know that's not your number two read. It goes from, I believe that's Bell, and then it goes to Dwelly. That's your 1-2, and then your third is Jordan Mason right there as your check down. But I mean, I get why he didn't throw it, but I honestly, you got drafted third overall. Let it rip. Trust in your ability. Let it rip.
Then we see the so quote unquote high throw to Dwelly, whatever you call
Did
it.
someone say a high throw?
I don't know. I thought people were talking about like not getting the gimmies or something.
That's a gimme. You got it. Well, Dwelly ain't getting more yards than that. Dwelly ain't a yard after the catch king.
Well, you get the a second down completion. That's a few yards. Here comes third. You're still what? Like it'd be 3rd and 6? Yeah, 3rd and 6 here.
It's manageable. 3rd and manageable.
And this is one I know we had a debate on during the game live. Lands here, pump, and then he gets sacked. Let's go back, though, to the top of his drop. This is a ball where he's looking here to the left side. Obviously, Conley trying to get past him, but this is a ball he's trying to hit to Dwelly. And personally, I thought he should have thrown this football. Personally, I did think he should have thrown this football. He's off. He's in his drop here. I think if he throws it before Dwelly gets out of his break, this is a catch. And I think that you're close to the first down, if not getting it. I think that he should have thrown this ball, given the space there with anticipation. But after he waits for Dwelly to get out of that break, That's when you get scared about this corner
He could
sitting
still
on the
let it
route.
rip, but I don't like how Dwelly got out of that break.
How so?
Bro, he gets out of that break so slow. Play at full speed.
Oh,
He
you're
gets out of
saying
so
slow?
slow.
Are you saying slow? Yeah. That I understand that, which is why I think the anticipation also is important on this throw, to where maybe Lance was looking for, a perfect situation. He gets out of that break quick. Lance has enough time for him to decide and throw that football before seeing that the cornerback would break. That's a part of it. Would have liked him to throw this ball though with anticipation.
Hey, I wouldn't mind him throwing this ball. I also wouldn't mind if Dwelly. I believe this is more on Dwelly. And the reason I
Okay.
say this is I believe Dwelly is supposed to push upfield on that a lot more instead of rounding it out. At least that's what I believe. If you look where Dwelly starts and look where he runs his route, I believe he's supposed to push up hard and then get to the out. So that's at least from what I know from the playbook. That's what I believe, if I'm not mistaken. And he rounds it out where it ends up him end up being closer to that corner than he should have.
Here's the look of it with Dwelly's route in it. You're saying he should have gone higher upfield?
More vertical. Push more vertical than he does. He goes very right away. He starts veering.
I understand
veering.
what you mean. You can see what he means
He
here.
veers right away towards his route. You don't see Kittle do that. You don't see like what you normally see because what you do too is
This route here, yeah. You want
I
Dwelly to
want
go
him to
vertical,
push.
and then he's running a diagonal route, and then levels out to the sideline.
I could
understand
be
what you mean
wrong.
there.
I could be wrong, but that's knowing Kyle's offense, he doesn't have many of those style of routes where the receiver rounds the shit out of it to get to his route. Kyle normally has his receivers push vertical and then break. So I could be wrong. I'll look at the route tree again. I'll look at the play. I'll look it up and see if I could find the exact play. But I believe he's supposed to push vertical, which is going to hold this linebacker as well in the middle of the field. He now he has to respect Ross Dwelly instead of being able to break and get closer to it, and he's not being drifted so much to the corner on the outside, sitting in the flat. So it might be on Dwelly, and I think that's why you hear Kyle Shanahan saying that's not on Trey Lance, and I want to know what he would say about that route. Like, is that route a good route or is that a bad route? I personally think that's more on Dwelly than anything.
Understandable. I can understand what you, given how we see that route unfold. To me, in addition to that, though, would still like to see Lance let that.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind having him rip. I mean, if the corner makes a play, the corner makes a great play on that one. It'd be a harder play than the first sack.
Like you said, it's on Dwelly. It's on him to catch the ball with the route that he's run. I think you let it rip. If it's a mistake, it's on the receiver, not on the quarterback.
Yeah, it's not how fans and media sees it though.
Yeah, that's how Kyle sees it, and that's what matters.
Not necessarily. You have media talking, you have people flowing, and I don't know. Are you skipping run plays?
Yeah, we're gonna skip run plays. I was just talking. We were just talking as this, but
Well,
that was the first
while
run
you
of the
skip
game.
run plays, one thing I will talk about is TDP showed what I was expecting from training camp. He looked good, hitting his hole nice and hard. I thought
he was.
I really
He
wish
was
it
one
would
of
have been
the
him on
standouts
that
for
screen.
me on this day.
I really wish
instead
it
of
would have been
Mason?
him on that screen instead of Mason. I know Mason can catch the ball to the backfield. I want to see.
We're gonna
TDP
get to
do
it.
Dude, it's a touchdown, dude.
We're gonna get
It's
to it.
most likely a touchdown.
But on this play here,
You passed up a pass play.
yeah, just looking from the backside. I mean, this was one of where defensive end makes a good play on it, where he's out there immediately, and this is somewhat of a tough throw to throw it over him, right? Lance, though, good job by him, good catch by Dwelly. You get 1 yard out of it, but still, solid play there to set up 3rd and 5.
Now, 3rd and 5 was the one that this is interesting. I believe no. This is the play where it's incompletion to Warner.
The Charlie Warner. Yeah.
Okay, and I'm really trying to see this play full speed.
Oh no.
No.
Yeah, that is. I think I'll run it back. I do think my analysis of it before is going to be similar. So here's Warner coming out of his break. He's got open space here. Trey's got open space, but he threw it wide, in my opinion.
Initially, I thought Warner slowed up, which the way it's slow, like I can't tell because it's kind of glitchy, but it doesn't look like he slowed up.
Nah, it looks like it was just wide. The slow up part to me it seems like he slows up to try and lunge out for the ball, maybe because of how wide it is.
I mean, that's a throw that needs to be. That's a throw that needs to be hit. Where Trey, you're gonna get hit, man. Just take the hit, deliver a good ball. There's no other way to put it.
You're hoping that ball gets there, and you're hoping that because that's an open route for a first down. That's an open route for a first down.
I think this is a great point by Chuck Harper and Jessa. The play action only works if you establish the run. No run was ever established. If you've gone 5 pass plays back to back to back, why the hell am I going to fear the run? So that's a great point. And I agree in the sense of you got to establish the run, but I didn't mind Kyle's going 9 straight pass plays or 5 straight pass plays, whatever he did. I didn't mind it. I really didn't. I didn't like the 3-step drop. I wanted maybe 5 or 7 steps. Now you get a little more time.
I'll say this. I know a lot of people were complaining a little bit, some talking about the run, some talking about like establish the run, which is something, he did on Lance's 3rd drive or whatever. And then on Darnold's, when Darnold was in there, I don't mind him let Trey, get some of the passing reps. I don't mind that at all. And it's in different looks. It's not like he's doing the same look over and over. He sprinkled in some 3-step drops. And I think that, it's just getting some meaningful reps in the quick game, which Lance doesn't have and needs to improve on. And I don't mind that portion of it.
I think the biggest issue, though, what everyone was having was the 3-step drops. Kyle doesn't call 3-step drops for his quarterbacks. See, that's not Kyle's game plan. So that's why, like, Kyle's never – and if you look at his playbook, he doesn't have many 3-step drops, normally 5 to 7, and majority of the time, there's play action in it. So for me, that's why people were upset. Like, give him something. Move the platform. You see the O-line struggling a bit. Move the platform for him a bit. Call that the play action boot. But then if there's a play action boot, you're going to have a free runner.
Yeah, that is true. This was the one where people were complaining about the gimmies. Yeah, this is just one he just misses. It's a play action. Comes out of his drop, looks at Conley.
Hey, Conley.
Open. Yeah, I think he gets off this.
But what's crazy?
Go for it.
What's crazy about this is Kyle comes back to this later in the game, and what does he do? He puts it on Conley. So
yeah.
Kyle, what I like what Kyle did during this game was caught a lot of stuff for Trey to be able to see things. Came back to it later in the game. All right, now let's see if you learn. If the game reps actually are gonna show me something that if I do give you reps, will you get better? And he did.
No, I agree. And I mean, here, just looking at this is where you hope Trey lets it rip, right? Linebacker not looking, Conley's coming. You also have time to where you can hit it in the second window. You see the safety on the far side backtracking. The other corner is going out probably he'll cover Dwelly on the route that Dwelly has, which means you're going to have space over the middle of the field. And you could also rip it now.
I prefer ripping it now.
Yeah, but Lance,
stride.
He looks at it. He looks at it and then shies away off it in the clean pocket. Conley's open, and then obviously the one route that he's looking at is the check down to Ross Dwelly, and that comes open first, but he airmails this one to Dwelly. likely ends up in a 3-yard completion, but still you hope for those yards, when you're backed up against the sticks. You hope Lance can let it rip once, but
I think, in my
didn't
opinion,
there.
that's probably his worst play because of how open Chris Conley was and how much time he has at this point. At least up to what we've watched so far. Up to this point. That was probably the biggest throwing window you could ask for in the NFL for Chris Conley on that initial break. And you have a lot of time. So he has to hit that.
No, I don't disagree there. I think that you've had a couple of poor plays, but that's one that Kyle, he's trying to set up his offense, trying to get Lance something to go. And I mean, the route combination there gave him an open receiver, toying with the linebackers in the middle of the field, but not there. Lance here, rusher comes and he has to escape immediately.
I'm interested because he killed that play and went to his second play that Kyle gave him.
You're interested what that play was?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was some type of run, possibly.
Yeah.
Goes from run to play action. No run would have been there if they did even go to a run. But
it's interesting because you have a miscommunication here. You've got Poe going over to get 56, the linebacker coming over, but then Dwelly also goes for 56, and that leaves an open rusher here. And interesting, that's the reason that Lance kind of comes along with that rusher in his face immediately.
The good job getting away from the pressure, keeping his eyes down the field.
Yeah, good decision not to throw it. Good work there by Trey, but one of the things that.
What up, bro? How's it going, man? What I do like about that play too, though, is his ability. He didn't want to run. His eyes are downfield, squares up, as long as he possibly could, just to pick up 30 yards. Like, I'm gonna wait. If anything comes open, I'll let it rip.
But this is, I believe, the third drive of the game, the third 3-and-out in a row, and this was Lance's fourth sack of the game. Or no, Lance's third sack, of the game. This one, I believe, Matt Pryor is the one who gets beat for the sack. At it here.
Matt Pryor's so bad.
Oh, no. I was wrong. Sorry. This is the Nick Zakel sack. Pryor's guy got beat too, but Nick Zakel
Pryor got work too.
Yeah. You can just look at this this left side. Isaac Rochelle just beats Nick Zakel, and then cleanup work there for number 69. Pretty sure it was a holding penalty too.
Yeah, it was. He grabbed him around the chest and gave him a big hug. Shout out to everyone that is in the house tonight watching some live breakdown of. I haven't seen the film. I know Rohan's seen the bits of it. So we're going through a film review. Shout out to everyone. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you guys are on liking and subscribing to both channels. I appreciate every single one of you guys tuned in today to watch some 49er film review. Now, this is the drive they get going.
Yeah, but Mark, I want to say this. Kyle said the first 2 sacks weren't on Trey. The last 2 were on Trey. Personally, I thought I forget exactly what he said.
He said the first. So he explained them, but he didn't. The way he said it, because I went back to read the transcript, and the first one he said wasn't on him. Like there was nowhere for him to go. The first one wasn't on him, and then the second one was on him, I believe. The third one wasn't. The way he explained it. So he said on the second one he had somewhere to go, which he did. We both said that.
Yeah.
He had somewhere to go. But the way he worded, like the way it was worded, it sounded like he was saying the first 2 weren't, and then the last 2 were on him. That last one wasn't on Trey. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Hit the back of his drop, he's getting hit.
That's why I'm saying it. Because the first 2 I personally believe were on Trey. The last one here, though, we just saw not really on Trey. As soon as he hits the back of his drop, Zakel's guy is beat, Pryor's guy is beat. He's getting sacked, and then cleanup work is there.
I know for sure the last one is on Trey because he could have thrown the ball away, could have gotten rid of it. Instead, he tried scrambling.
Yeah.
So Nice play. Ronnie Bell.
This was Ronnie Bell's highlight, I believe, of the first half. He had the nice end around, and this is where Kyle starts sprinkling. Kyle starts calling regular Kyle offense, right? He's sprinkling in the passes and the runs, and so
You
you're
said it,
seeing.
not me.
Yeah, I mean he's sprinkling it in. He let Trey have his little trial period, and then he sprinkles in, a nice run
I
here from
don't.
Ronnie
I
Bell, and
don't.
it's just throughout.
I don't get why he let Trey have a trial period. Like, run your offense. Trey ran your style of offense in college. Run your offense.
But you also do want to get him passing reps, right? At a time where
But even then, you could get passing reps. Like, and this is where Trey starts to look comfortable. Throughout after this drive, he looks very comfortable running the offense.
he started, I believe, 2 for 4, ended 8 of 11. And again, stats aren't the best indicator at all in this game, but just how Lance's day went along. I like this run here from TDP. Like overall, I like TDP's day where he's bouncing back to the middle. There were nice runs overall. I mean, you'll look at the stats: 2.9 yards per carry. But what you see from TDP overall, I thought it was a good day.
I thought TDP had 4.7 yards per game.
Oh,
per
sorry.
carry, sorry.
I think that the team overall didn't have that much.
I think this is a great point by Nasir 42. Kyle called it that way because he knows what it was. He's not a fan attempting to break down a play in which they are not sure exactly what happened. At game speed, he didn't have he didn't have the time. I agree to some extent. Kyle, there's something that Kyle and Trey probably are trying to work on. I do like this play. Number one is because this is a play that Trey missed earlier. A similar route that he missed to Dwelly High. Hits it perfectly. Like, you can't really ask for him to put it better, much to do. Like, this is a good pass. But I do agree with what you're saying in the terms of Kyle knows what he's doing. Trey knows what they're doing in the sense of what they're working on. And then once they realize that what they're working on, like, hey, I'm not comfortable in this, or you don't look comfortable in this, let's put our regular offense out there. And once he did that, he looks very good. And Fumagalli looked good on that one right there. Looked like Selleck from back in the day.
A nice, easy out route there. Lance hit gimmies, as you call them, the quick game. And then here he just hits Conley again. Just making throws easy here for Trey. Getting the offense moving. Yeah.
See, this is why Kyle. So these last two plays are why Kyle did talk highly of him today. Like, he sounded like he was confident. Like, oh, you look good. He hit the plays that he wasn't hitting throughout camp, according to everyone. That's a throw. Hey, get in the stride, pick some good yards. You're ahead of the chains. Let's keep it going. Like, that's what Kyle wants to see.
Nice and easy. That's how it is for Kyle, and I mean that's the way that you want it. This is why, again, plays like that are why I didn't mind the earlier plays where you're looking for more, shot plays rather than plays that are easier and moving the offense, because you do want to see Lance, attempt all sorts of passes, not just passes where it's considered gimmies, but they're moving the offense. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 2nd and 4, you pick it up with TDP. Nice run, picks up about 7 and 8. Hey, TDP, I love how he finished this run. If you just let it play, oh, never mind, he probably took third. If you just let it play, I want to highlight what he does right here. Now,
he lowered the shoulder at the first time.
Yeah, lower the shoulder and just get those yards. Most running backs are trying to cut or get the extra yard by dancing. He got that extra yard by just lowering his shoulder, and that's something that I'm proud of TDP from doing, because that's what he did in college. He looks like his college self. First and 10, ball to 21. You're pretty much in the red zone at this point. I love how Kyle goes empty in the back, spreads it out, You hardly see Kyle spread it out. It's not something Kyle tends to do.
And the reason you go empty is for a player like that, where you allow Lance to, utilize his legs a little bit. Not necessarily a run play, but you allow him to scramble a little bit, have some space, and make a play.
This right here, this play was nice. The reason why, so I do, if you let it play, reason why I do like this play, feels pressured, get out of there. You feel like you don't like the pocket, get out of there. Normally, you see Trey try to run that, pick up a first down, or lower his shoulders. Instead, keeps his eyes on the field, flips it over to, I believe, Willie Snead for a small gain. Hey, that's progress. That's his rookie in his second year. He's trying to get those yards. Instead, keeps his eye down the field and just flips it over. Now you're you're on the 10 or 9-yard line. You pick up a first down because of a nice scramble. First and goal at the 9. I like it.
Play action here, and this is the
Now I don't like it.
Interesting play. This is the interesting play. We'll call it that, and we'll run it back.
Hey, what's crazy is Kyle Shanahan said he liked this because he said, "I like how he ripped it. I like that he threw it. I didn't like that he threw it, and the reason why I don't, you're throwing it back against your across your body, and
Throwing it,
there's someone in your face. Like you better have enough arm because that he is open, but the ball should have already been out."
The one thing that I'd want from Lance on this play, because it is crossbody, if you're going to make this throw, you can't throw this in front of the receiver. You need this ball in the back of the end zone. That's the way that I see it. You need this ball high in the back of the end zone so that, even if a defender's in the vicinity, it makes it at least easier and not a chance for someone to break in on the ball.
I do know I don't know who said it. It might have been Rich. Shout out to Rich Madrid. He did say he believes on this route that Conley should not be drifting towards the back of the end zone. He believes he should be kind of running down the middle of the letters. So like where the center of the E is. I don't know. That's just something just to point out because I know Rich does usually go off of the playbook that he has. On this one, I kind of honestly, where I want the ball to go?
Where? To Ronnie Bell?
No, not to. Let me hold on. Let me see. Let me close this part because I can't see the back of the end zone.
You're saying the far left?
Nah, I wanted to go to Snead. Throw that shit to the sideline. Live to see another down. Ronnie Bell's covered. Ronnie Bell's covered. What? Okay, watch him set his feet. So the moment he sets his feet, pause it. Ball could easily, in my opinion, feet are set. You could rip that towards Willie Snead. No one's there. Ball goes out of bounds. You live to see another day. Doesn't have to be a perfect pass.
That's true.
That's personally what I would have liked to see, especially because the play's coming this way. Give it to Snead, and you're aiming at the sideline because if you miss, at least you miss wide, and you live to see another down.
Yeah, that's true. I'll say this. I'll say what I said yesterday. I don't hate the decision. I hate the throw. Because I think that I can understand the window that Trey sees, but this ball can't be at the E or the G. This ball has to be either in front of him or in the back of the end zone. And that's where I think you allow the corner, to come in and break on this ball.
Yeah, I think you're right. If you're gonna throw that, put it to the back of the end zone with where if Conley's not getting it, it's out of bounds.
And I think you also have to kind of see that if that's the read you want to throw, if you find that open, let it rip earlier. Let it rip the defender's going to be there. It's not like him waiting another extra second to try and free up space. Freed up more space than it would have if he threw it, a second or two later. The defender's going to be in your face. Let it rip earlier.
Ideally, what you want your quarterback to do if you're Kyle, throw it through the uprights. Throw a field goal. Put it through the uprights. You're throwing it where Chris Conley is. You don't want to live to see another down. Throw it as high as you can, five rows into the seats, and just call it a day. People are going to okay, at least he threw it away.
Yeah. Hey, I mean, it ended in a touchdown.
Terrible decision, in my opinion, to throw across your body back to the middle of the field. I didn't like it at all. I thought that was a very bad play. That was arguably his worst attempt of the day. Ended in a touchdown,
Yeah.
and the results are better than the process.
This is a good angle here.
Yeah, I really think he could have threw it to Ronnie Bell, coming out. I don't like
You're
that.
saying
Willie Steen. My bad. So
I think
this is a
personally,
great question by Junior Madrano. Does Kyle tell QBs this receiver is supposed to be your first read? This is just that's usually what the offense does. Like usually you have based off of it all goes based off of coverage. So when you're looking at a very high intense playbook, you have read 1, read 2, read 3, and then it has a bunch of different things. It has versus cover 2, you're running this route. Versus cover 3, you're running this route. Against man, you're doing this. This is your hot. This is your reads change based off of what coverage you're in. But so they do have a design read 1, 2, 3. Now, Kyle's not telling them, hey, they're in. You got to remember, they're the headset on. Headset turns off after 15 seconds. Once the clock gets to 15. So Kyle wasn't saying, hey, I want you to throw to Ronnie Bell right now. You should be hoping that should be your first read. Not how it works. They have to. So they do go off the playbook in terms of read 1 is this, read 2 is that, based off of coverage, and then there is design hot routes into there based off of a blitz or whatever else is coming. So that is also part of what goes on. And shout out to everyone for the great questions, great comments in the chat. I appreciate every single one of you guys. Make sure you guys are subscribed to both channels, and make sure you guys hit that notification bell and go ahead and share it with someone. Appreciate it.
this is Lance's 4th sack of the day. One that I personally thought was on him. You're going to see him come here, step up into the pocket, which is a good thing from him. Warner has solid protection there at the top, and Lance here is at the top of his pocket. One thing, though, I don't know about you.
Go play it back. Who's that left tackle? That Jalen Moore?
Yeah, Jalen Moore.
Hey, he gets beat. Dude, when you're staring at your quarterback like that, that's the worst. And then on top of that, Jordan Mason. You got to be better. You got to be better.
He overcommitted there. And so that forces Lance to step up. But, Marco, I want you to look at this read on the top left, which is Lance, what he's eyeing the entire way.
Ball got to go to the middle of the field.
Huh?
Not to the top. In my opinion, not to the top left. Ball got to go.
That's his first read, though.
He's covered.
This corner route's his first read.
I don't mind it going from read 1 to 2. And the reason is because the corner's in good position to start, and you are stepping up into the pocket to buy yourself a little more time. Now, if you throw in anticipation, that's there. But look how you have 10 to 15 yards. Put that shit in the middle of the field. You're not going to miss an easier throw.
I agree, but to be honest, I don't mind either throw. I think if he throws this with anticipation to the left corner, you've got a good catch down the field because Conley ends up getting freed up. But if you think that the corner is covering him at the point of the break, which he was, you've got the route over the middle of the field.
Absolutely.
No,
and I agree. Like if you're throwing, as soon as he steps up, he should be setting his feet and ripping. Like there's no that's that one hitch and go. That's where the ball should be right here to where the 45 is on the sideline. Nice toe tap. But I would love if you don't like that read, turn fire. You're gonna get hit. It's gonna be a rough in the passer. Let that shit rip. Let it rip. No other way to put it. J.R. Madrano, great question again. Appreciate you, my man. Feel like on the all-22, guys may be open. My pushback would be, well, maybe that isn't read 1 or 2. Is that a fair assessment? Absolutely. We're not in the meeting rooms. So you have to also realize that since we're not in the meeting rooms, we don't play for the team. We don't coach the team. We don't know what's read 1, 2, 3. However, Rohan, you saw the playbook that of the Niners 2018 install?
Yeah, I've seen the playbook. Marco has seen the playbook of the install from Kyle Shanahan. And the other thing is, with the way that we've done these film reviews over and over again, it becomes a little clearer on the picture of where you want to see Kyle throw the football, and we get more used to the playbook. And so this is why, well, again, this is a pure inference from us because There are things that could change year to year. The majority of the infrastructure of the playbook is something that we both know, and that is something that's why we're able to confidently say read one, read two, and when Kyle Shanahan speaks about it, it's in a similar fashion.
Yeah, so it's not necessarily it's not cookie cut. Like it's not you don't it's not how football works. It's not cookie cutters where you could just say, okay, well, read one, read two was this, because based off of the during install and during that week, Kyle may say, hey, you know what? Normally this is where we go, but against cover three, I want you to hit this instead. I want or run this route instead, or whatever the case may be. They do change things up a little bit, but nothing too crazy. But yeah, on this one, Rohan, he has to hit Conley, man. Conley's open by in NFL terms by a mile.
I agree, and I mean there are three. I think that there are three legitimate options on this play, and it's unfortunate that none of the three came to fruition. One is hitting your first read, which is Chris Conley on that out route, and the other part is Lance has hit this route comfortably in camp. This is one that he's done really well, and with Conley, where he's thrown this ball consistently with anticipation. So you want to see him let it rip in the game too. Two would have been that throw over the middle. Two, I don't see. It might have been Ronnie Bell, whoever it
I
is.
believe
Throw
it is
over the
Ronnie
middle,
Bell.
and yeah, and the three. Even if you're not comfortable with either of those two open plays,
Throw it
this ball
away.
away.
Yeah.
Throw this ball away. Live to see another down. Don't take a sack here, especially.
Yeah, I thought this was a bad sack. Probably the worst sack of the day for him, and the reason why I think it's the worst is because he had two wide ass open receivers, steps up into the pocket, which is great, but then doesn't let it rip, and then decides to scramble. I'm like, that's not on the O line. That was your best pocket of the day. You got to let it rip. Like it's not gonna get your pocket's not gonna get better for you in the NFL. Let it rip. But I do like the way they bounce back. Even though they don't get much on this drive, I believe he has the throw to right here, the screen pass that comes after.
Marco, did he see who the left tackle was? It was Leroy Watson,
Oh,
not
Leroy!
Jalen Moore,
Oh my
actually.
God! I'm about to log out because I said I like him. Logging out. That's his only pressure of the day. So at least what
I guess
PFF.
so.
I guess PFF had him at one pressure on the day. So that's an ugly one pressure.
Here's one where Lance just evades the pocket, gets rid of it to who is it? Warner, probably a yard or two
No, I
on
think
that
no, I
play.
think that one was a few because he got sacked a play before. They got back to the sticks.
Okay.
I believe that was
But
like
Lance
5 yards,
steps up
maybe.
here. Something that was kind of common that you saw. Oh yeah, you're right. 6 yards. But something that was kind of common that you saw in this last play that you'll see. Just look at Nick Zakel. He false starts and gets put on his back. Kind of a rough play there for Nick Zakel.
Hey, that's not me. That's he. He got pancaked. Oh my God! It's like that. Y'all when y'all want to see a dead body. That's what it looked like.
Rough game for
That's
Nick
that's
Zakel.
that's the understatement.
But this was Lance's probably best throw of the day. This is one that you pointed out.
Oh yeah, this one. Yeah, this is. It's earlier. He had this exact same kind of style of play. It's a didn't rip it last time. This time rips it. Beautiful throw. Beautiful. Like this throw is probably one of his best throws of the game by far.
And it was right on the money in between the windows. You had the safety converging, you had the cornerback behind him, and you had the guy over the middle of the field who was there. A good angle here.
If he leads him any further, he probably gets killed or is picked off. That's like you cannot miss on that pass. That's one where you make and you're like, that is why we drafted you third overall. Like you see those, you're like, that's the quarterback Kyle wants.
And the cool part,
here
right? Like you said about the what do you call it? The cool part about what you said is he missed it before. He missed it. That was one where he really should just let it rip. Here hits that get out again. Kyle this time schemes it to the other side of the field, and Lance lets it rip. This one was even a tighter window than the one before. Lance let it rip. Good ball and a big completion there for 24 yards.
Shout out to Anthony. He does say one thing I saw people complaining about on that last play, the one where he does get sacked after escaping. Trey looked slow, not realizing the linebacker number 56 that chased him down around a 4.5. So it's a fast guy. That's good to know.
This was the dud.
Dude, he
This
has
is the ball.
so much field to run. And this is Kyle being Kyle. This is where Kyle in this point of the game has been realize what's been happening. Okay, hey, we're getting too much pressure. Okay, you're getting a screen come to you. Now he has if the moment the ball hits him. Okay.
Let's
body
look
on a body.
at this.
He is getting 6. He is going to get a touchdown out of this.
There is only one open body in front of JP Mason. That is number 33 here at the 22-yard line. You've got Willie Snead, who's going to be able to block the corner on the outside. You've got a lineman already out here, Nick Sakel, who's blocking this guy.
And if he's not
But
getting a
it's a
touchdown
drop.
out of this, and if he's not getting a touchdown out of that, he's getting at least
20 yards.
to the 20, 25, 30-yard line. And he's
Yeah.
elusive, so I'm not going to rule out a touchdown, but that's a big play.
Yeah, I mean, this one was one where this is a Kyle type of play where you expect, this is one where CMC gets the ball. This is a good amount of yards.
CMC, that's a touchdown. Damn, that dude ate too much Butterfingers in Vegas. He had too much popcorn butter. Shout out to JP though, good dude, good guy, good ball player. But you got to catch that.
You said you wanted TDP to get that ball.
I would like to see TDP get that ball. I know it. We know Jordan Mason has good hands. We know he has good hands, or at least decent hands. You've gotten better at that category. I would like to see TDP, who has improved his pass catching game. But shout out to everyone who's in the house today, watching us break down some film, review the film of what's going on, and then with this one, I do like Kyle calling the draw. I didn't mind it. Now the 4th down play, I cannot stand it. Why are we running out of the gun?
But why didn't Trey tuck that ball?
Wanna know why? It's the preseason. I ain't tucking that shit.
I mean,
you
if the read's there?
No, hell no. You want me to get hit? Hell, it's the preseason. I'm the quarterback. Hell no. Let's get under center. Let me QB sneak it.
We'll see.
I'm not getting hit. If I'm Trey Lance, I'm taking the same exact. I'm looking over at the sideline like, you're tripping. I'll call the play, but I'm handing it off. You're tripping. It's the preseason. You're tripping if you think I'm running this. I broke my damn ankle because you called this last year. I'm not doing it.
You're telling me though
it's
here.
The preseason. Yeah,
but
don't do it.
You've got Fumagalli as your lead blocker. You've got
still not doing it.
Your lead blocker.
Still not doing it. That safety's going to come down. That safety from the top coming down. He's going to fill that lane. If I don't get down fast enough after I pick up that first yard, I'm getting popped.
You slide. Slide immediately.
Nope. Don't mind it. Don't mind him not pulling it. It's the preseason. Yeah. Kyle, stop doing shit like this. Get under center. It's the preseason. It's 4th and 1. Get under center. Run the damn ball with Jordan Mason under I formation. Put your fullback back in there and get some yards. I don't like that at all. I was upset when he called that. I was like, dude, it's the preseason. I get Trey as a quarterback that can do that. But what are we doing here? Save that for the regular season. Tuck that ball. I don't mind it. But it's a preseason game. I thought that was a stupid play call.
Personally, I disagree. If you're talking about getting those reps and things like that, and if you're talking about going through in-game situations, this is one where I want to see Trey Lance tuck the ball. And I'm not saying this because personally I believe he gets to the 43-yard line and he slides. You have a lead blocker in front of you on the lone guy that's there. You get to the 43-yard line, you slide. But I think that this is a ball where you absolutely can't let this ball be a handoff. That's an automatic stuff if you let it be a handoff with the way the edge was playing.
And like I said, if I'm Trey Lance, I'm telling Kyle in the meeting room right after I get to the sideline, you're tripping.
Okay.
I'm not. There's no reason for us to call this in the preseason where I could get hit. Nah, good job, Trey. Hand the ball off. I don't care if it's a 4th down stuff. Next time, have Kyle get you under center. Hey, what the Raiders quarterback got under center twice, I believe, the young kid, and they moved they got first down running QB sneaks. You could do that with Trey.
Okay.
If that's what you're like, I don't honestly, I don't like the play call at all. Like I thought it was stupid because you still have if you look at as soon as he's about to hand the ball off, play it and watch 21. He's not going to get that far. He's going to get hit. He's going to get hit. If you pay attention to 21, 21 comes flying around because he saw his own read. I personally
You're talking about the corner?
Yeah. A corner could pop. That corner is physical. Robertson's physical. The corner could pop.
I know.
Him. Corner comes flying.
You're saying you think
as soon as he sees him blocked down, as soon as he sees him blocked down, he sees it's his own read. Go screaming across.
I understand, but there's like with the lead blocker, you're running to the right of 56.
Don't. But the thing is, though, are we gonna really run? Are we really gonna run zone read in preseason? Hell no. Okay, and he breaks his ankle. He breaks his ankle preseason game 1. We're like, Kyle, what are you doing?
I don't know. Okay. Personally, I don't hate the play call because if it's executed properly, it's a first down. That's my.
The reason why I don't like it is because Trey got hurt like that last year, so I'm not trying to see him do that in the preseason. Like regular season, I don't care. You're trying to win a ball game. It's just an exhibition game. Like, let's not do that, Kyle. Let's keep him healthy because you might need him during the regular season if your quarterbacks get hurt.
All right. First down, what do you call it? This is the 2-minute drill, though. 1st and 10, the 2-minute drill.
So the 2-minute drill was the first one was a terrible pass. Because what I want him to do is check that shit down right away.
Lance, this is something that he struggled with at times during the season. The single player.
You mean during training camp?
He's deep enough. Yeah, during training camp. Player is deep enough. Lance, to fit it in when he should have checked the ball down. Tries to do it again here. And I understand the circumstance. I understand there's 28 seconds, but you've got to hit the check down there. There's not a chance that you can let a guy who's that deep be able to break on the ball right there and try to force it in, especially when you're telegraphing that pass.
The reason why I say check down no matter what is because if you go back to like any 2-minute drill, especially when you have like 30 seconds, you just want to get a positive play no matter what it is, especially when you have 3 timeouts. So I want to see him check it down. Even if you pick up 5 yards on a check down, running back, tight end could get out of bounds. Pick up the check down, and for me, that's what I want to see.
But this one is interesting because it's the exact opposite.
Let's address this comment, right? So Showboat 278 says, just say Shanahan had no confidence in the QB to throw the ball. Even in the preseason, he had no confidence in him to throw the ball, yet he called, 3 straight pass plays, 30 seconds left in the half, and he is calling pass plays. What are we doing here? Well, come on, man. Don't do that. 4th and 1. No. 4th and 1. 4th and 1, why not try a quick slant? Because it's 4th and 1. You're a good run team. Run the damn ball.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely, what do you call it? It's definitely not true. 4th and 1, why not run a quick slant? No. With the way the offensive line has gone, a quick slant here requires a 3-step drop back, and we already saw the inefficiencies that the 3-step drop back had in the first drive. When you look at it, Lance, he was overwhelmed in the first drive, and a couple of those decisions were on him. But you're not going to try and put him in that situation on a 4th and 1 when, 1, you've had good success running the ball in that first, in this particular drive, and then 2, you also, the play that they ran, that's one where you get the ball, where you can get a first down there. But on the no confidence part, I think you could have a better argument making the opposite way. He had more confidence in him to throw the ball because they were throwing the ball the entire first 3 drives. Not many runs. They were throwing the football a lot. And, of course, it resulted in a couple of dropbacks. But Shanahan wanted Lance to get his feet wet for sure. And so not sure about that.
That's definitely not true. He's 30 seconds left in the half, and he's calling pass plays, and he's throwing a dart to Chris Conley. People are like, oh, it's a high pass. Nope, good pass.
No, this is a beautiful pass. Why? Because, first of all, Lance you just saw what happened on the last play. Lance has had these struggles about getting it over that second level. You need to be able to throw this ball high in a layered throw. And the other part is if Lance leads Conley to the left on this throw, he gets lit up by whoever this is, the linebacker or safety. He gets lit up there. Good ball by Lance. Great catch by Chris Conley. And, you get it right there over the middle of the field. And you set yourself up pretty darn well for an eventual field goal try.
I thought that was a hell of a throw. You layer it over, I believe that's Robertson as well. Layer it over the corner. You put it in a bucket because if you overthrow him, it's incomplete. Might get intercepted depending on where the safety is. I don't remember if he was that close to him. But I thought that was a hell of a throw. Maybe if you hit him in stride, it might pick up more. I thought this right here, this play was the best play of Trey Lance's processing speed, because earlier we saw him pass the ball, not want to go, and the next year on this one to I believe it's Fumagalli, I believe, could be wrong.
Yeah,
hits it right away, boom, puts it on him. That to me, that was the step of watching him and seeing how much better he got from the first two snaps of the game to what are we, the 28th, 25th snap of the game. To me, that was the difference of him. I know I got to get the ball out, and it might be because it's 30 seconds left and he knows I got to get the ball out. So I thought that was a very nice job by Trey.
Yeah, it's interesting. This one I thought was a PI on Chris Conley. He pushed off on Duke Shelley, I believe, but
so did I.
Here. Yeah, I thought this was a pretty blatant PI. The 49ers also got lucky because... Go ahead.
Go ahead. I do like the attempt to the end zone by Kyle. I do believe that is a design. Kyle was telling him, go after the end zone. I do believe that.
I agree.
And I thought that was... I think you're in field goal range already. You only have 9 seconds. Yeah, go after the end zone.
And unfortunately, that field goal was missed. But that was Trey Lance's day. A day full with up and downs. But here comes Sam, and
gimmies. You gotta hit him. Gotta hit the gimmies.
See, on the stat sheet that did not count. Remember, this was a penalty that did not count, so you cannot say
it's on the film. Doesn't matter. It's on the film. I'm just messing around. I thought Sam had a really good day, but those are the ones that everyone clowned Trey for hitting, for not being able to hit. So you got to hit that, even though it's a false start. I think that was on the cow, I believe, as well.
Yeah, but no, I mean, you're right. That was probably one of.
No, actually, that was on all two.
Worst mistakes. Yeah, it was on.
I thought he had a turnover-worthy play later.
Yeah,
this is a dart. No, that's the next one. Not my bad. It's on the second play of the series. This one coming up to Ronnie Bell.
After we get through these,
put him in a spin cycle.
Hey, Leroy had a pancake.
Yeah, that's my boy. Passing out pancakes around here, you know what I'm saying?
Oh, this is the back view.
Let me see this pancake from the back view. Oh, he's at right tackle now, so.
Yeah.
Man, it wasn't really a pancake.
Yeah.
I'll give it to him
that way. But second and 14, this is Sam Darnold and anybody's. Well, Allen had a solid throw that was picked, but
this is the best day. This is the best throw of the game.
Bada bing, bada boom.
I wouldn't say best throw of the game, but best throw for the 49ers made because O'Connell was Dylan. Yeah, that was a good throw. I love how he noticed no safety over the top. They were playing you with no safety over the top. You're able to put more air on it. Good air, drops it in a bucket. Great throw.
And good job. Safety's good job looking over the middle of the field as well. I mean, you look at 42. 42 is the guy who's this is, I believe, cover 1 where they've got a guy over the middle. Darnold looks off the safety and then fires this ball away, giving him an ample window for him to fight that ball in, and a great throw. This one was a nice, or not this one, but there was a different one that was a nice run by TDP. I'm pretty sure though Cam Latu was called for another penalty here.
Like Cam Latu is struggling. He is struggling.
Maybe he has that,
as a rookie when you have so much going on, it piles on.
Tight end, one of the toughest positions, to develop in the NFL.
Braden Willis had a good game though. He needs more reps. Kyle, give him more reps.
That is true. It was interesting. He didn't really play that much early on, but maybe that changes later on. Here was a solid throw. Isaiah Winston made a good catch too.
Isaiah Winston, he had a couple of good catches. Good day for the young rookie, especially because he was trying to make a practice squad somewhere or a team somewhere. Solid day for him. Hey, what I did notice though is when Sam Darnold threw it off from the broadcast view, it kept CBS kept the camera on him after he threw it, and he was scared. He thought that was getting picked. And what's funny is I didn't notice that until after my little cousin was like, "Why did he look like that?" And I was like what? And you see his eyes like super wide. I'm like, oh, it's probably because the linebacker was in his face. So I was like, linebackers jumped up in his face, probably. And then when you look at it, like he looked like, oh snap, why'd I throw it? But honestly, I thought it was because of the linebacker in his face. But I thought it was interesting. I was like, that his eyes got big, and they kept it on him for a while. That's funny.
Yeah, it is because I thought it was a solid placement putting that ball high.
So did I.
Able to get the receiver there, but
especially when he's 6'4".
Yeah. 3rd and 8 here on Sam's first drive.
This is no, it's not the play I'm thinking.
No, this is the nice hit on the out route to I believe Tay Martin. This is just a good anticipation on this throw overall.
Tay Martin had himself a nice day. I thought he ran routes nicely. I thought he blocked well, except for you got to jump on the fumbles when they happen.
A good ball there. That's one where you want to see that rep, that kind of stuff.
And I like this throw because there's nowhere else to put it. You put it inside, it's getting intercepted. Beautiful throw. Didn't miss. That was nice. But again, interesting how Kyle stayed. I like how Kyle stayed in a flow after the halftime. He noticed what was working with Trey, running the ball, getting some nice, easy throws, kept that going. He wasn't running the ball much in the first 3 drives. And that's why the offense didn't move the ball. It's not Kyle's offense. And then next thing you know, kept a nice flow into the game. Let Sam Darnold ease his way in. I thought that was nice for Kyle to do. But did that for everyone, not just for Sam Darnold and Brandon Allen. Do it for Brock Purdy. Do it for Trey. You run your offense, man.
I think he'll start next week. I think you'll get more for sure. Not too much of the getting the guys reps. More so just run the offense and see how it goes. Oh, was this was the ugly one, right? Where they just get stuffed. And
then it goes 4th and 1, and then my boy Sam Darnold doesn't know how to QB sneak. Like, look, why not put Sam Darnold in shotgun and have him run a QB mesh? And I don't know, this is what I mean. Because Sam Darnold could run the
read option.
The read option. He could run the read option. So I don't if you do it with Darnold too. Because he does it I believe they get stuff back-to-back plays right here. And then Sam Darnold, as he's sneaking it, first thing I do notice is after the run, first thing I do notice on this QB sneak is he starts turning his shoulder. to the line of scrimmage. So he's pushing instead of pushing forward.
He's trying to push with the shoulder
turns
instead of
with
his
his
chest.
shoulder. I'm like, that is not how you QB sneak, my boy. At first, I thought he put his back to it and like pushing backward. Like, what are you trying to hit the moon? At first, that's what I initially thought. I was like, bro, homeboy's trying to hit the moonwalk. But right here, this is where it is. He starts turning his shoulder, and to me, you cannot. The offensive line got bullied. But I thought Sam had a really nice day in terms of where he was putting the ball. The offense was moving. That needs to be converted. It allows you to get points.
Graded Sam at a plus yesterday. Might have been a little harsh. Probably deserves a. What would you have said for his day?
You said a C+ for Sam?
Yeah.
I'd probably give him a B-. I mean, there's nothing. I mean, he had a turnover-worthy play, but I didn't mind it. Like, I was just like, okay, it was a nice. But it also, I do. It was two different style of game plans for Sam and Trey. I would give them. I thought they were both solid. Like, now Trey did have 2 turnover-worthy plays, which should have been picked off. Sam had 1. But I felt like Trey attempted to push the ball downfield at least once or 2 or 3 times, I believe. Sam pushed the ball down the field. I thought they both looked good. Like, I don't get people saying that the one looked terrible, one looked terrible. I thought they both looked good.
That's interesting because I was one of the people that probably was harsher on the quarterbacks than others. I had Trey Lance at a D+ and C+.
Nah, see, I thought if anything, I would give Trey a C and probably Sam a B-.
My reasoning is the processing and the sacks. The sacks were we know about the turnover-worthy plays. I thought the sacks, though, you have 4 or 5 decisions that could have been much more positive plays that were negative plays.
See, but during the game, I thought I didn't think all those sacks were on Trey. I knew the last sack was on Trey. You could tell. And then the other ones was kind of like, I gotta wait till I watch the film. And I thought out of the other ones, I thought there was only one that was truly on Trey, and it was the one where he could have ripped it to, he could have ripped. I forgot who it was, the receiver, but I didn't think the one where people thought he could have threw it to Dwelly was a sack during the game. And I didn't think
and that was our
disagreement.
He could throw it to,
and on the one where they thought he could throw it to Conley, like I didn't think that was. I thought it would have been 6 during the game. So during the game, I thought the first 2 right away weren't on him. Or no, the first one and the third one.
I thought they were. Hence the lower grade. Yeah, I thought.
Yeah, I thought the second one was on. I thought the first one was it.
The second one was, third wasn't, fourth was. For me, I thought the first 2 were, and then the fourth was as well. But after a couple of runs, here's Darnold back under center. Oh, this is This is another run as well. You see the balance, though, right? You see the balance. Especially once the 49ers have 8-9 yards on first down, a better balance here.
And I think that's the biggest difference in why people were like, "Oh, Trey looked bad. The offense isn't moving." Yeah, offense isn't moving because guess what? They're not running the ball. I guarantee you, Kyle will not call 4 straight pass plays for Brock Purdy. He won't. He won't do it for quarterback. He was doing it. I thought that was a turnover-worthy play. I thought that could have been popped in the air. That, to me, the way I see it, 3 dudes around.
Yeah, this one was probably Darnold's lone, ugly pass.
But I was kind of expecting one of those to come because he was having a lot of those in camp.
Yeah.
42 gets his hands on it. I believe the linebacker gets his hand on it.
42 broke it up.
But he popped it up in the air, though. So it's, to me, that's a turnover-worthy play. And what's interesting is he never sees that linebacker. Or was it a safety that was in the drop down? He never sees him, ever. So if you go back, he thought he had the receiver open the entire time. So it's like I don't mind. I don't mind how he played. But I was expecting that of him to have at least a turnover-worthy play. He's been very consistent in training camp in terms of accuracy, ball placement, checking the ball down. So I wasn't nothing too crazy. I didn't think the quarterbacks were terrible during the game. I just thought the offensive line and defensive line got their asses handed to him. Yeah. I thought that was a good throw.
This was a good throw. When you look at it, the placement, I know some people questioned it, but I thought this ball was a good ball. You'll look at the shoulder that he hits it on. This is the ball. That's the place where he needs to hit it. You'll see he fires, and that ball is right there. I understand he takes a hit, but you're going to take a hit on a tight play like that. Good ball by Sam.
Yeah, I thought that was a hell of a throw. Because if he puts it on him, he's getting killed. Like he at least puts it in a spot where it eases the contact. I felt like if he puts it on him as he's running, the corner that is coming in is gonna light him up.
You got to make sure he turns around. He makes sure he catches the ball with his back to the defense. There. Here for TDP.
I thought that was a nice run.
Yeah. Couple of nice
Braden Willis,
good bounce.
I wonder if someone asked Kyle, hey, does Braden Willis, in your perspective, what you see, does he move like Jordan Reed to you?
That would be interesting.
Not saying that they're the same player, but Ronnie, but you gotta, like, when I watch him, he kind of moves like Jordan Reed. And Kyle coached him in Washington, coached him with the Niners for that year he was with us. Kind of moves like him.
Right.
Good throwaway, nothing there. I like the decision.
I agree. But that's an interesting, That's an interesting perspective, right? Because Reed isn't necessarily the fastest guy. He's not like an athlete, but he's not slow. He's not like a guy who you'd peg as an athlete, but he's not a guy who he's like in that middle, right? But he's like smooth with the way he runs, which it look probably faster than he is.
Yeah, and I think that's the same way Braden Willis runs, is smooth.
Did you feel similarly after the film breakdown? Feel a tiny bit better about Trey's film? Still not the best.
I feel the same. I didn't think he looked terrible. I didn't think he looked terrible. I thought they both looked solid. I thought they both looked like quarterbacks that, if you have all the starters around them, you can win games with. You could be very good with them. After the film breakdown, so JR Madrano says, after the film breakdown, I feel maybe a tiny bit better about Trey's film. Still not the best showing, but it goes to show what he really needs, that he really needs the reps, as many reps as possible. Yeah, it just shows that with the limited action that he's had, after seeing it one time, Kyle will come back to it and he could hit it. So that's a very positive, because Kyle comes back to plays throughout the game. He sets stuff up throughout the game. So I really liked I wouldn't say I really liked, but I didn't mind watching Kyle go from the sticks and then come back to him later, because Trey had missed him, come back to him later, and you see Trey hit him. So I'm like, okay, right. I like Kyle doing that. Like, now, to me, that looked like Kyle was testing Trey. Let's see if you get better throughout this game. Can you hit what you didn't hit in the first quarter? The first two drives, he did it. He hit it. Especially I was most impressed by Trey during the 2-minute drive. I was not, honestly. I really thought Kyle was gonna do what he normally does and runs the ball with 30 seconds left, especially like where they were, because like they weren't in favorable field position, but instead he was like, nah, you know what? I'm gonna throw the damn ball. Like, to me, and that's why to me.
And I think that's also what the preseason kind of helps you with. It allows you to experiment in these situations, at least for Kyle, because you'd expect Kyle to run the football in the regular season there.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think that also goes to what I believe someone else earlier asked, or they said, "Oh, it just shows that Shanahan had no confidence in him." He had confidence with him with 30 seconds left to get down and drive the ball.
Yeah,
So
they
I
got into
mean,
field goal range. They got to the 22-yard line,
and
and
then
Moody
Jake
missed a
Moody,
40-yarder.
no, he didn't. He went right down the middle. Boy, don't lie to me. And I was like, do you remember when the Niners had McLaughlin? And
Chase McLaughlin.
And he shanked it so far left it went into the
Yeah.
tunnel. That's what it looked like. If there was a tunnel there, it would have went into the tunnel. Like that was pretty bad. Anything stand out to you throughout the game though? Like I know we haven't really talked about the game. Anything stand out to you about the game?
I thought the offense flowed better. You know, in a way, and I know people probably don't want to hear this, it's a closer game than people expected. It's not like the 49ers were at 7
They got their
points.
asses whooped.
No. But hear me out. It's not like the 49ers didn't just were shut out offensively. A couple of turnover on downs in opposing territory, a couple of missed field goals. You know, you had a couple of opportunities defensively, which we didn't get to the film here today. Defensively, they were terrible. Defensively, they were really bad. Like that to me is a lot more concerning than what we see here, despite the quarterbacks obviously being the headline. You thought your backup defensive players were going to be significant in terms of the depth guys, right? Defensive line is a group of depth. Linebacker is a group of depth. Maybe not corners and secondary as much, but you thought, that front seven would be a group of depth, and they got eaten.
But the thing is, though, is the defensive line a room of depth? Is it?
That's been the perception.
It's Javon Kinlaw. It's Kevin Givens. So me and Rohan have talked about Kevin Givens for a while now, and I keep saying, and I keep coming back to it. Kevin Givens is a good pass rush situational downs, but if he's in the game, I don't care what running back I have back there. I'm up. Kevin Givens, he's on the field. Kill, or run at the damn ball. And he gets tossed out the club. Javon Kinlaw was getting tossed out the club. What other? I seen Kerry Hyder get tossed out the club.
Those were the three big ones. Yeah.
To me, and it wasn't like they're getting giving up big holes. It was they're getting moved 5 to 6 yards. That was embarrassing. Linebackers, I thought the linebackers played fairly well. Now, the reason why I say this is because the way linebackers work is when you have a bunch of stuff in front of you and you have defensive tackles that are ending up in your lap. So think about a quarterback. How does a quarterback feel when he has his guard end up in his lap? It's the worst feeling. Same thing for a linebacker. A linebacker, at the end of the day, they're a quarterback. They're trying to see what's going on to try to break it down before they react. You got to read and react. Now, when they have a defensive tackle in their lap, it's hard to read and it's hard to react because now all the defensive tackle that we're doing on the combo blocks, they're right on you. So linebacker play goes as far as the defensive tackle play. So that's why some people are like, well, the defensive linebackers look bad. No, they didn't. They looked good. Jalen Graham looked good, had a stupid 15-yard penalty. That was a rookie mistake. I thought D. Winters looked solid.
I thought both linebackers
good.
Yeah. I thought both rookies had solid plays.
Yeah,
I will say this bit is their own defense over the middle. It's an area where O'Connell ate over the middle. And I mean, you got to praise the quarterback. He had a real solid game. But that's something that I think the 49ers might have to look at.
Hey, I won't be shocked if O'Connell's starting for them by the end of the year.
I mean, Jimmy going to get injured probably.
I don't think even if he doesn't get injured.
Anything for it.
Even if Jimmy doesn't get injured, I think he could be starting at the end of the year. The way Jimmy's contract set up is it's like a kind of like a 1-year deal in a way because of that. Once they had a 2-year deal, but at the end of the next year, I believe is $11 million in cap hit. Where okay, it's not that bad for a quarterback, so they kind of have set it up where they can move on from him. The dead cap next year is $11 million. So if they're struggling, they only get $11 million. They could trade him if O'Connell plays well at the end of the year. So they made it where even if they hold on to him, they trade him, they get rid of him, They only eat 11 million, and to me, that's kind of smart. If O'Connell plays well like he did, I thought O'Connell played very, very well, especially the easy throws. Players highlights. Just highlight a few players. Who stood out to you?
Highlight. I know you might not because of one specific play. Thought Ronnie Bell stood out. Thought he apart from that one drop that led to a pick, I thought he was real solid.
I thought he stood out too.
Yeah, he was real solid. I mean, there was that one play.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought he had a good
But
game.
overall, thought he stood out. I mean, Sam stood out. Thought he was clearly the better quarterback on the day. Not necessarily an overwhelming performance, a solid one. Farrell was the one defensive lineman I thought good on the day. So Cleveland Farrell point out.
I did think Cleveland Farrell stood out. I thought he had a good game. Beautiful pass rush move to get inside. He didn't look like that when I was there at training camp. That he didn't show off that pass rush moves. Another player, obviously McCurry Ball. I thought Taylor Hawkins had a good game. I thought he had a solid game. Who else am I thinking? Marcelino McCurry Ball had a really good game. I thought he was flying around nicely. Didn't notice anything from. Oh, I thought Ambry had a really good game. I think you mentioned.
Ambry Thomas.
I thought he had a really good game. Who else am I missing? Jalen Graham had a Jalen Graham.
Probably the best player on the day for the 49ers. I thought his return skills those were impressive to me.
Hey,
he looks faster. He looks solid.
Like I think, and the thing is like Ronnie Bell didn't impress as a punt returner, but he did a receiver, but he was the only guy really getting targeted. So when you look at it, is he that much better than Tay Martin, who can make our practice squad? I think Jameson is a guy, man. I think he's a guy you keep on the roster.
I already proclaimed him as a lock for me after training camp. That's only furthered this past weekend.
I can see that, but the thing is if Ray McLeod is telling Kyle, "Don't worry about me, I'll be back by week 1," then that changes things. But I think that is a good spot to end
I still think he makes it. But yeah, I agree with you. Good spot to end today. A great film review. Thank you guys so much all for tuning in. Any last thoughts, Marco? What are we thinking?
No, I think we'll go live. I'll probably have just to shout out. I'll probably have I believe I'm having Josh Harper, former Oakland Raider or Las Vegas Raider, I should say. They're no longer Oakland. Fresno State Bulldog legend on the show this week. I know you and I will be recording also. So that's about it. You got anything going on this week?
Still gonna figure it out, but there'll definitely be action on the channel. Marco will definitely be back on as well this week, so be sure to stay tuned. But yeah, that's all.
For sure. Make sure you guys go like and subscribe to both channels. Appreciate every single one of you guys for tuning in today. Peace out.